Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here. Actually, 2:59. We're a minute early today. 2:59 here in Nubian, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday, November 11th, 11/11/2020. So I think 11/11/2020. That's got to be like an auspicious day, right? It's got to be lucky. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I like it when there's like number patterns like that. Yeah, today is cold. It rained like all day yesterday. It was super windy like all night. It was one of those days where you feel like the whole house is shaking because the wind is so hard. The winds died down this morning, but now there's just cold air right behind it. And to be completely honest, I'm kind of liking it. I mean, I've talked about how I am a cold weather runner, but I just generally don't like the cold, but I'm okay with it. I feel like I'm ready. The leaves are pretty much all gone from everywhere in this area. And, maybe part of it is I ordered like a bunch of new winter clothes to test out to just see if there's anything new that's out there that is worth picking up. So I've got like all this stuff, and I'm like looking at it because it's over there. All this stuff that I'm like ready to use, and the last like week has been really balmy. I've been running like in shorts, so I'm ready to get back into those winter temps that we had like 2 weeks ago. So that's where my mind is at. I had a weird day this morning though. This morning I was out running in the park, New Wine Park down the road, and after about 20 or 25 minutes, I was doing a lot of pausing of my watch because I was out filming for a couple of videos that are coming up, just shooting some kind of like B-roll footage while I was doing an easy run today. And I don't know if it was like one of those things where if I just kind of left it, it probably would have been fine. But because I was doing a lot of pausing, my Polar watch died on me. And it was like pretty full. I think I had charged it like the day before. So I was still pretty full on battery, but it just died. Like it was like a cold weather thing. And I thought, well, maybe the battery's just dead from the cold. It was only like 30 degrees out though. I was like, I don't understand this. But then it came back. So I restarted my activity, got another like 10 minutes of running that I was doing, recorded, but I lost like the original 25. So that's super weird. And it's also weird that it came back and turned back on and was able to record fine. So I'm not sure what happened there. It's only the second time like Polar has, but the thing is, it lost the data. It didn't like figure out a way to like write to memory real quick and then die. It just died. So I lost like that in this morning's run. And that's like now the second time that a Polar watch has done that to me. The Grit X did it to me once this summer, and now this one. So peculiar, very, very peculiar. Let's see who's here. But before we do that, let's say hi to everyone that's listening on the audio version. Hope you're having a good run out there today. And anyone that's watching this after the fact, thanks for tuning in and watching. In terms of who we have here with us live so far, I could see in the corner up here. At least it shows for me. I think it shows for you guys too. But for me, it shows we got 57 people here. Awesome. We've got KCA saying, hello, everyone. Trails were crowded today. On the bright side, the crowds motivate me to get some tough hill repeats in. Very cool. Very cool. Alvaro Arias says, hi from Costa Rica. Oh, amazing. You probably are not having winter weather over there. Chris Yao is here as well. Awesome. And it says, nice 5K with Pip after work today. I like the look of the Rocket X in today's video. Just the thing for a 5K. Yeah, it was. Whoa. It was an exciting shoe to run in. I think that I'm not sure that it's going to be a marathon shoe for me. I think it'll probably be a marathon. It could be a marathon shoe for me. But I was just hoping. I mean, and I saw kind of some. I tried to avoid it, but I did watch Jamie's review of the Rocket X. And he was so bullish on it. And I was like, I'm going to love this. And then I put it on and I'm like, this seems a lot like the Carbon Rocket, to be honest with you. And so I was like, I mean, granted, that foam is softer. And it's a little bit easier to live with the 5mm drop, and still has that soft midsole foam in the heel as well. But it was still a lot of the Carbon Rocket, which made me a little bit nervous about it. But the workout was the weather yesterday was crazy, and but the workout was a good one, and it was fun, and I was glad to have the Rocket X with me for that day. So I'm happy with how that video turned out today. But I'm still like very ambivalent about, do I love the Rocket X or am I disappointed about the Rocket X? I just ping pong back and forth, and it could happen like within the same sentence. I just go back and forth all the time. More testing certainly required. Not really. Hank Aaron says, does no vaccine mean no Santa Claus? Well, around here it does not, because here is crazy. Here we have 40% in this state. We have 40% positivity, and the hospitals are basically all full. And this county, Dubuque County, is now the county supervisors and the county board are now the local paper is reporting it as they're now signaling that they would support a countywide mask mandate. So that's where we're at. The state governor here says that indoor sporting events and indoor gatherings should be limited to 25 people. No. Indoor like dining and gatherings, that kind of thing, should be limited to 25 people. And sporting events should be limited. Indoor sporting events should be limited to 100 people. Unless there's masks, at which point I think then it's like, whatever, you got a mask on, get as many people inside as you want. So it's a weird state. It's very peculiar here. And I just saw a commercial yesterday for the local Outdoor World, which is like, what is it, Bass Pro Shops, or is it Cabela's? It's like Cabela's and like a whole bunch of other things where they're talking about come to Outdoor World, look for your hunting gear and all sorts of other stuff, and visit Santa. You can reserve your time for Santa online so that you're not waiting around, and that way they can like spread out like the crowd. And when you go see Santa, Santa's wearing a face shield. Not a mask, but a face shield. I feel like because the face mask became so polarizing that the people who are now realizing like, hey, maybe this thing is real and I need to do something about it, are going to face shields. So like I think that's like the new acceptable compromise is face shields. So I'm seeing a lot of face shields lately on TV mostly. I haven't seen them in person yet, but I imagine that's coming. Sorry, that was my weird rant on the way things are being handled here. I mean, it's like I can't imagine if this area were like more populous, how crazy it would be. But yeah, it's been interesting here. All right, Brendan C is here coming in from Seattle. Says, what's going on? What's going on, Brendan? Bert says, hi all. Scotty B's here. Steve76 says, yo, what's going on? Keyfrification. Here for the meta load. Awesome. My mom's here. How's it going, Mom? David Sachs says, hi, everybody. CJ Cruz says, yo, what's going on? Playing 11.11 miles today. Oh, what? I should have thought of that too. That's brilliant. He said, which would have been my furthest run ever, but instead did my first half marathon. Whoa, in 2:07. All right, let's get a cowbell for that. Great work. And then going in for the 13.1. 13.11, is it? 1-2? I can't remember what exactly the second digit is for that, but 13.1 and 2:07. That's great. What a great time. And he says, happy Veterans Day. It is Veterans Day today. Yeah, very cool. I've not been watching too much news today, so I don't know kind of like what's going on in regards to celebrations and what certain political figures are doing to commemorate the day or not. And I'm just going to let that be. All right. Jared Grano says, yo, just posted on my IG about my marathon last weekend. Hope everyone is going well. Awesome, Jared. Hope the marathon went well. Let's get a cowbell in for the marathon last weekend. Awesome. All right. David Litstone says, fourth night in a row for me. Loving it. Went on a chilled, steady run. Did 6K in 25 minutes. Nice. That's a nice pep in the step there. Nice. All right. CJ says he's going to go to bed. Catch y'all on the podcast for tomorrow. Great. Well, hope you have a good night, CJ. See you tomorrow. Jody's here as well. Cool. Good day, everyone. And Bert says he had 30K on the muddy trails today. Long, slow distance pace. Loved it. Up to my ankles in the mud. I don't think I've ever run in anything that messy, like up to ankles in mud. And not for like more than like a couple of strides or two. That could be fun. Today, though, when I was out there in the park, I was running in the Fresh Foam Moor, and there's a little river crossing that's out there, and it had rained so much not only yesterday, but the past like several couple of days and weeks, that one of the rocks that's kind of important in reaching and crossing over the river was completely submerged. And I tried to put my foot in. I was like, because I could still see it. So I'm like, maybe I could still put my foot on it and maybe water will go over my foot, but I'll be fine. And I tried it for a second and I was like, no, this is not going to work. So I ended up turning around. But as I was standing like on those rocks in the Fresh Foam War Trail, I was like thinking about Ginger Runner's review of that shoe, where he's like, this is a nice, like, if you're a beginner, this is a great shoe, but the traction needs some work. I just couldn't help but thinking about that. And then I felt like, I just suddenly felt like very not secure in terms of my traction on the shoe. And I was like, oh, I'm going to slip and slide right into the water because the rocks are just all uneven. And yeah, but I didn't fall in the water. I was fine. All right. Let's see. Someone got some Peg Trail Gore-Tex today. KCA. Ooh, nice. You're definitely ready for winter then. Diogo Tanaka says, hi, everyone. Did my first 10K since I started running again. Awesome. Ooh, great results, everybody. Anselm Okantu says, ever deal with calf injuries? I've never had calf injuries. I used to get a lot of Achilles strain, typically just in a high intensity phase. It's what would happen. The only thing that would really help it would be rest. Or if it was like racing season and I couldn't rest, then just like a lot of Advil and you deal with it. But a calf injury I have not really had. Sorry. Scotty B's morning run had, oh yeah, we were talking about yesterday that there was going to be snow in Minnesota. You got 6 inches of snow, and the speed go 4 eats the snow and ice for breakfast. Felt like 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So I ran 8 miles. Oh, there you go. 8 for 8 for veterans and J. Mike Remy. Awesome. Remy, I did not know you were a veteran. Oh, that's cool. Thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. Awesome. Catherine Rummery, that's a great last name, Rummery, says, hi from Berlin, Germany. Hello. All right. Someone said they did 5. Matt Wilt says, any experience with Gore-Tex line shoes for winter conditions would you recommend versus regular shoes? Sorry, got a little bit of frog in my throat. But yeah, I love Gore-Tex line shoes. I'm a big fan. Generally, when I look for winter shoes, I look for Gore-Tex ones first. When people say like it's been weather treated or like water resistant, I'm just like, then I'll just run in a regular shoe. But if it's like serious, then I'm like, it's not serious for me in my mind, unless it's a Gore-Tex shoe. That's just kind of where my head's at. Maybe I'm just a sucker for the branding and the trademarking, but I do like Gore-Tex shoes for winter conditions. Do you need them? It depends kind of on where you are. I would say like last year, I mean, it depends on where you are and to an extent, like how bad the winter is. So for me in Chicago last winter, Chicago's winter wasn't, I mean, we had a couple of rough patches, but it wasn't that miserable. We had a lot of cold, but not a ton of like really messy conditions. And that's where I'm looking for the Gore-Tex. So if you're running in like slush, ice, water, and water and snow like mixed together, like running through a giant like slurry of wetness, yeah, you're going to want the Gore-Tex. But if it's just cold, or if it's powdery, then you can probably get by with winter shoes. There's regular shoes and like thicker socks. Now there's like limits to that as well, but and you don't want to have like the most breathable shoes for that. But a lot of the daily trainers or the max cushion shoes generally fit into that category. The other thing to think about is, you know, how icy is it going to be? Then I also reach to a lot of trail shoes for that. So last year I spent more time running in trail shoes in inclement weather than I did on trails. So that's like the other way that I kind of approach my winter running. So if you have like some of those like commuter shoes or like the Speed Goats 4, I would probably consider that like more trail shoe than I need, even for like wintry conditions or wintry conditions. But I do like shoes like the Challenger ATR that comes in a Gore-Tex, or even just like the non-Gore-Tex Hoka Torrent 2, I think would probably still make a pretty good winter shoe. So that's how I approach it. All right. JTA says, what would you say is a better overall shoe, the Boston or the Kinvara? I'd say the Boston. I really like it this year, but I also really like the Kinvara this year. I feel like the Kinvara changed where that hint of stability that Saucony puts in a lot of his shoes, the Kinvara is usually one of the biggest offenders in my mind. Not offender is like the wrong word, but it's the most prominent. But this year they seem to have toned that down, and overall the shoe just became less aggressive and became more of a daily trainer. So I feel like from an overall shoe, the Kinvara did make a lot of improvements over the 10. It changed quite a bit, but I still like the Boston a bit more. Let's see what we got here. David Litson, my 6K was actually with my friend Brent Greenwood, who is a GB athlete. Runs a sub 4 mile and a 146.800 Rapido. That's for sure. That's a crazy fast time. And a sub 4 mile is no joke. Wow. Yeah, I suppose if like someone that's that fast is like, hey, keep up, you're going to have to probably try to show up that day, even if it's supposed to be an easy day for you. But well, awesome. That's cool. Really cool. I'll have to look up Ben Greenwood. I'm not familiar with who that is. Awesome. David, I hope there's some there's some video footage of the run with the two of you. That sounds like it'd be pretty interesting to watch. All right. Chandler Rodriguez says, "What's up from Austin, Texas?" Yo, what's up, Chandler? Hopefully you're doing okay down there. Hopefully people in Austin are doing all right. Texas, I'm hearing some scary statistics coming out of there, COVID-wise. So hopefully you're doing okay. Justin McClary said, picked up another pair of Rincons this weekend. Another pair of Rincon 2. One of the things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about, like, how do I talk about the Rocket X is the Rocket X like a Rincon Pro? Because it felt like maybe it could be. But I felt like it could be more of like a Rincon 1 Pro because of the narrowness of it a little bit. The Rincon 2 this year, I feel like the sizing is a lot better. And so I feel like I don't feel quite as squished into it. But I could definitely see the argument that like maybe the Rocket X is more of like a step up from the Rincon than it is like something in between the Carbon Rocket and the Carbon X. But it just makes, because the upper is more similar to the Carbon Rocket, I felt like the Rocket X fits better in that like carbon and carbon comparison. The other thing I was thinking of is if you look at like the upper of the Carbon Rocket and the Rocket X, they both look very similar. And it's like, if you wondered what it would look like to put a pull tab on that, then you've got like the Rincon 2. So that's it. So I've just been thinking a lot about the Hokas the past couple of days. So that's it. Justin McClure says, what would be the difference between the Carbon X versus the Rocket X? The Carbon X is like a different kind of shoe. I mean, one of the ways you can look at the Carbon X, and I didn't realize this until Thomas from Believe in the Run had said it, but he was saying that a lot of the people that he knows use the Carbon X solely as like a fast day trainer, kind of like you would use a Zoom Fly or like the Tempo Next Percent or even like the Fuel Cell TC, because it's got carbon in it and it's got kind of like a race day feel, but it's not exactly like a racer. And so it's more suitable to like, a harder speed workout kind of day, maybe something with a little bit of longer mileage and speed, that kind of thing. And I think that makes a lot of sense as a way to use the Carbon X. The Rocket X, I think, has more of it just feels more like race-y to me. I mean, both of them have very, very snug uppers. But the Carbon X, to me, never really felt like a race day shoe. And I think that's kind of the consensus. So what I was really surprised about is that there's a Carbon X2. That was a real surprise. And I didn't know about that, and I didn't see it coming. And so like when I saw like, people not only is there a Carbon X2, but people are reviewing it, I was like, how'd they get that? Nice. Mark Chancoco says, love the Rocket X video, and I'm definitely intrigued. Well, thanks. It's something that I'm That's a shoe. That and the Alpha Fly, I definitely am like, those are the top of my list for like, I need to do like a 5 mile marathon pace, like stretch to really get a sense of its marathon credentials. But as far as being like great shoes to run in, they're great shoes to run in, you know. Goku Runner says, yeah, Texas is no bueno. Just started going back to the gym recently, but I guess I'll be sticking to running and body weight stuff. Are they closing down the gyms in Texas? I wasn't sure if they were or not. I think that in a lot of places they're closing down the gym. I know, like in like New York, they're closing down gyms and stuff. It seems like everyone just hit this like tipping point at the same time, and we're all finally like, okay, let's do something about it. Which I feel like better late than never, you know. But it's scary. I just hope everyone can stay safe out there. All right. Let's see. James Camo says, what's everybody's favorite color for running shoes? Mine's black. Yeah. I also like gray. Well, black but mostly gray, but mostly black is what I like. Jeff Alec says, I'm fairly thin and still over 180 pounds due to height. I seem to like whatever Andy FOD loves. Well, that makes sense, because I think that puts you pretty much describes Andy as well. But yeah, Andy, like is he? I don't know if is he here today, but his progression is still just astonishing to me. Like he's just improved so much, so fast. And every time I'm like, well, he just probably had like a quick ramp up, you know, and he'll plateau, and then we'll find out where Andy's at. It's just he's still just improving and improving and improving. It's just mind-boggling. All right. Luka Radosevic says, hi, I was with COVID in the U.S. Hi from Croatia. We're not doing great over here. I think that here's my take on how most of the country has been kind of, if I can say that there's a consensus. I think there's been like two very diametrically opposed consensuses on how to approach it. But I think overall, the way most people are kind of looking at it is, you know what? We're just going to kind of let it spread as much as it can, because we got to stay normal a little bit. But as long as we still got hospitals, you know what? If you get a bed in a hospital, if you die, that's on you. But at least we gave you a shot to survive it. But we're not going to shut everything down because, you know, everyone's still got to work. And I feel like now we're at the point where like, whoop, hospitals are getting full. Now I guess we got to do something about it. So I think that's kind of like, that's the weird like Icarus compromise that we've had here, where like drowning in the water is like closing things down too much and too negatively affecting the economy. And then getting burned is like, oh, we've surpassed our hospital capacity and now infrastructure is starting to fail. You know, that's kind of like, we're happy with, as long as we're not in those two mediums, then we seem to be happy with some people dying. I think that's, if I can speak for the United States, I think that's kind of what we've been doing. I'm not saying that's what we should have been doing, but I think that's what we've been doing. All right. Yeah, Jody says, change in a leader who takes COVID serious and people's mindset changing to be more cautious. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, I think that that's part of it. I think that there's kind of like some of the hot air in the room kind of has dissipated, and that gives other ideas a chance to like breathe. But I think the other way to think about it, if you look at, there's been like 3 major US spikes, and they all kind of hit the same level of, whoops, hospitals are getting full. That's when I feel like everyone starts to really pay attention. And so I would love to say that it's because, all right, we're rounding a corner like philosophically. And so now it's going to be like a new direction where, you know, we start to be more sensible and reasonable and rational about things. I'm pessimistically, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it's just that we're hearing those news stories of hospitals are getting full. That's everyone's kind of like max red line. And then, well, then people will be like, okay, let's calm it down for a little bit. And then people are like, oh, but Thanksgiving. And then things will be a disaster again. And then we'll have, oh, hospitals are getting full. And then that's the wave. And so like that's the wave that we like to ride around here. Not that we like to, but as a country, that's what we've been doing. Yeah. Captain Rummery says, the only thing I have to be grateful to COVID for is it made me discover running. Well, I'm glad that you could find that silver lining in it. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of people. And so it'll be interesting to see, once these vaccines start circulating and then we can get them, hopefully it will be approved. I did see an interview with Fauci today saying he trusts Pfizer and he trusts the FDA. And if Pfizer is confident enough in their results to submit an application to the FDA and the FDA approves it, he would take it and he would recommend that his family's going to take it. He was a little bit unclear on whether he was personally going to be like how much he was going to be personally reviewing stuff, which I wanted, what I'm hoping for Fauci to say is like, I looked at the data too, or me and my team looked at the data and we also agree that the FDA made the right call. That's what I'd love to see. That would make me feel confident. Roadrunner Review says, heading into work. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. What's going on, Roadrunner? And happy Veterans Day to everyone indeed. Yeah. Cool. Goku Runner says, I haven't heard of anything closing down here. Recently had an outbreak from a Halloween concert at a bar here. Oh boy. Yeah. My niece's roommate, my niece goes to a local college around here, and her roommate, I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the ultimate result. So like, I don't know what the punchline is, but apparently like the university was like, guys, don't go to Halloween parties. If you go to Halloween parties, there's going to be ramifications from the university for you. And apparently my niece's roommate went to a giant Halloween party and there were pictures on Facebook of her and stuff. And someone like ratted her out. And so now the university's like, you got to go find a place to quarantine, but it can't be on campus. Get out of here. So it's like weird. And I was just like, man, do people really, I love Halloween, but do people really love Halloween that much? I don't know. I guess people do. David Litson says, I'm grateful for COVID because my 5K PB has come down 2 minutes over the lockdown. I wouldn't make that trade, but again, that's a pretty good silver lining. Nice. Justin McClary said tons of SEC football games are postponed this weekend. Yeah, I haven't been following a lot of what's going on in college football, but I just feel like college football is kind of like the epitome of like people that just want to pretend that things aren't happening. I'm really trying to understand the mindset, but I'm having a hard time understanding it. All right. Jeff Elliott says we should be called YGOs, pronounced YGO. Oh, YGOs, because what's going on? YGOs sounds like a weird name though. YGOs. I think it's probably because it's too close to winos. Maybe that's why I'm not sure by what that YGOs is the best term for you guys. Shannon says, Kofuzi, you have such great skill in choosing jams for your running reels on Instagram. I'm mesmerized by videos of running, but adding music and slow-mo, and I'm set. Me too. I love, well, thank you, Shannon, first and number one for the compliment, but I am just loving Instagram reels of people just running. And I feel like for any pro that's out there that is feeling pressure from their sponsor to be able to like show off or show up for their sponsor during a time when there aren't races, if you have a training partner, or if your training partner or coach is on a bike, just have them videotape you once a day running. It only takes 30 seconds of filming. It could be one static shot, put it to music. I'll watch it. I'll like it every time. And if you want me to comment on it, I'll comment on it too, just because I love watching it. I just think watching running is beautiful and mesmerizing. I'm a big fan. All right. Ooh, Ricardo Katagiri says, yo, just came back from work running. Just came back from work running 10K and now having frozen pizza. Cheers. That's a pretty good afternoon. That's nice. Ooh, Frank says, $55 Boston 9 still at Jackrabbit. That's an amazing price. It's less than 50%. Amazing. Frank says the uni here is eliminated spring break. wow, that's far out too. So, like here, a lot of the universities are trying to like finish their fall semesters before Thanksgiving. So that way, like if people just that way, they could like kick everyone out instead of like having people go home for Thanksgiving, spread whatever they caught at college back at home and have them come back and respread more stuff. They're just trying to get everything done, which is not really that aggressive. Because I remember when for us, my class, we always did our finals during the semester. And so because we would do mock trials for their finals. And so half the class would do it the week before Thanksgiving break, and the other half would do it like the week after, and then we'd be done. And that would be read week. And so like it's not that huge of a difference, I suppose. Dan M says, I think we should be called Kofoodies. That's funny. Gary Smith says, nah, Kofuzians. I don't know. I think it should be just something really, really simple, like "What's up, runners?" Something like that. I kind of like that. But I also like don't. I'm not. I know like everyone has like everyone on YouTube has their thing. Like they say like "What's up, fam?" "What's up?" Like, and they have like the team something or whatever. There's always like a something, but I'm not in like a hurry to figure that out. We'll get there. We'll figure something out on our own. I have a feeling that's something that we'll figure out probably when we're like in person and on our actual group run together. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Laura's here. What's going on, Laura? Good to see you. All right. Oh, Ricardo says Rotterdam postponed the marathon to October 21 from April 2020 to October 2020 to April 21 and now October 21. Oh. Richard Murray says, any face masks for sale, Kofuzi? Yeah, that's a good question. I've been on the fence about it because it seems weird to like sell that as merch. But on the other hand, though, it's like, well, you got to have a mask anyway. So you might as well be able to have one that's fun and that you enjoy wearing. So I do have a neck gaiter, and it's a double layer neck gaiter. So I think it'll be better than probably a regular neck gaiter in like the Teespring down below. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to design a new one here in the next couple of days. And I've been debating whether or not to do a face mask, but that's a good question. All right. But good to see you, Richard. Let's see. Jeff Elliott says, yeah, they're trainiacs, which I don't love. Yeah, I mean, Triathlon Terran does have trainiacs, and I'm also not like a huge fan of the term, but it works for him. And, I understand the value of that because it creates the sense of the community and who are we, that kind of thing. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. Jody says, maybe we should be known as cornfield runners. That's funny. Mark says, I totally buy a Kofuzi face mask. I just got the Adidas ones. And not really. Hangar says, mask is good merch. Okay, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do like a small run of them and try to get some out the door. We'll see. Here's the other thing that I've been thinking about. So I've been thinking about like the YouTube subscriptions and stuff, or just Patreon in general. And I've also been thinking about merch that like not Teespring. I'm not a big fan of Teespring. I love the convenience of it. I love print on demand. I don't have to touch a single thing, and the shipping is global and it's easy. But their selection of things is limited. For example, they don't have like a tech tee, like a running shirt. And I don't think that they have a face mask option, but places like Vistaprint or like the small run printers, do have stuff like that, like the koozies that I made. And so I was thinking about I don't know how the math would work, but I was thinking rather than trying to sell those kinds of things, I'd rather them be the perk for different like subscription levels. But but then it feels like the subscription level would have to be expensive, and that's something I don't know either. So those are ideas that I'm kicking around, because it's like, rather than like, hey, this month I'm selling gaiters, and next month I'm selling winter hats, and next month I'm selling, 2-inch shorts. I would love it to be able to just be like, when this month subscribers are getting the January perk, like that's kind of where I'd like to take it, but I just don't know if the numbers will work out for that, and like some things are going to be more expensive than others. And so some months people will feel like they're getting more value than others. So I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about. I have been thinking about like the subscription stuff. But, I just need to find a way for it like to be something that I would want to subscribe to. Yeah. I mean, Toshak Singhal says, isn't there a subscription level on YouTube itself? It is. There is. And it is competing with Patreon. But like, like for someone that I make a video almost every day and I do a live stream pretty much every day, it's like, how much extra content could I possibly make to make that be like the bonus or the perk for like subscribers or patrons, So that's where I'm like thinking like, how do I make it, just more like worthwhile. Chris says, to be fair, 2-inch shorts are about the same size as a face mask. Chris, I think you've been doing a different picture every day. How long have you been doing that for a long time? I've only just noticed that. And if you guys can hear, the girls just realized that the UPS man came. The UPS man came like 30 minutes ago, but they just realized it now, and they're pretty excited. I think they got new like house slippers. Yeah, that's what they're excited about. Ricardo says, Ben Parks makes great merch is great. I'm not sure if it's easy to replicate. I think that of all the, can I say that? I think I can say of all like the running YouTubers out there, I think Ben does the best job of it. The merch is great. And I mean, he's got like his system all set up. I can buy stuff from him in the US and it gets here fine. I don't know how that works. I don't like right now. Here's the wrinkle in it. Earlier this summer, I tried to use like one of those at-home postage stamp thingies, and so that way I could like do the packaging myself, weigh it, buy the postage like online, and just drop it in a mailbox and never have to like talk to anyone, fill out any forms, or go inside anywhere. But when I tried to send them to England, then I was like, nope, this feature is temporarily unavailable, and I suspect it's because the UK didn't want like packages coming from the US for some reason. I mean, for some reason being like, I don't know why they'd be, I'm sure we're still exporting stuff to them, but like stuff from like a person here. But I think also maybe they just needed me to go into a post office to do it. And so they just got complicated. But I don't know. Ben's able to do it to send stuff to the US. I get stuff from him somewhat regularly. I've got a couple of pieces of his stuff, but it's always great. He has great eye for graphic design. And I don't know if it's him or Sarah or they're doing it together or what, but also like the vendors that they're choosing to make their stuff, it's great. Thoroughly recommend. Jeff Ellie says, I noticed the gratuitous puddle running in today's video and I appreciated it. I appreciated it too. It was gratuitous, definitely. I didn't need to. I very much could have avoided all those puddles. But I was like, they're right here. Why not? It was after like the work portion of the run, so I was just on my cool down anyway. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, Pure Ascent says, as far as merch, I'll pay extra for quality. Hope everyone else feels that way too. Yeah, I mean, I would hope that people feel that way. But I also feel like, given that, I also think that it's important for a lot of people that are like me on YouTube to have different price points as well. So like, make it good, make everything good, but give people options still. That's kind of how that's how I want to approach it. But there's a lot that gets from that kind of concept to like the execution that can make things difficult, and which is why I'm always very like hesitant to dive in there. Well, Kiefer Vacation says, Ben Parks even sent me a Christmas postcard last year. I'm trying to think if I got it too, or if I just get the ones when I buy stuff. I'm not sure, because I feel like I've gotten a couple of things from Ben. Yeah, I mean, it's just very thoughtful all the way through. Richard Murray says, I should provide inside info for the biggest fans for memberships or tips on cool Insta360 shots. Love them on the alpha video. Well, thanks. But Richard, was it the 10K? That was partially on a 360 camera too, wasn't it? So I don't think that you're all that unfamiliar with it. You guys are doing pretty good with it as well. So yeah, I don't know that you need any tips from me. You're doing great. But that 10K, that looked painful. I think that's what it was, right? A 10K? That looked really painful. I'm going to be doing 10K. I think that's for the 10K that I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to do it Sunday, everybody. Saturday, I think it's going to be potentially raining. So I'm going to try to avoid that, but I still might just wake up on the morning and kind of see how it is. Sunday is definitely going to be clear, but it'll be a little bit windier, but we're going to see how it goes. Frank Laholier says with the super chat, thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate it very much. Says we can always do a super chat if you want to chip in right now. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's true. And the super chats are always well appreciated. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. Paul Kane says Ben Park's running vests are really high quality. Yeah, it's like I want to use his same ones, but then I'm like I'm gonna, because they're not easy, but once you see one that's out there, then it's like, oh, okay, there's a company that makes really nice ones, and it's tempting to kind of piggyback off of that, but I'm like, no, I gotta find a different one. I gotta find my own source, and there's no one that does it print on demand, unfortunately. But I think that if I could figure out a way to do a short run of them, and I was thinking about it, when I do the short run of it, make the quantity really small until I sell out every time. And then each time I sell out, then I can make more and more and more, kind of go from there. So that's another way I've been thinking about it too. The other way I'm thinking about it as well, from the merch perspective, is, I know that's how a lot of people make a lot of their money in terms of being on YouTube, but from a growth perspective is what if I try to make, not try to undersell anybody else, but I make it really easy for as many people as possible to buy them, so that's another way that I've been thinking about it too. It's I'm kind of asking you guys to advertise for me. So shouldn't I make it as easy as possible and as cheap as possible for you to get it? But then, yeah, so it's one of those things I've been thinking about. Not a ton, but those are my thoughts. Danny J with the $2. Thank you so much. Says I challenge everyone to super chat $1 right now. That thank you. That's really nice. Ben Y says, what about a Kickstarter type thing? That's not a bad idea. I've not thought about that way, but is that? I think I probably could do that on Indiegogo, because that's the difference between Indiegogo and Kickstarter, right? But maybe that's another way to do it. But I guess the other way to do it is just to have everyone ask them to verbally commit, and Martha's brought that up a couple times too. To do that way, so that's another way to do it. All right. Oh, okay. Richard Murray said for his video, he got to use the GoPro 360 to try to get the side shot, as the 5K video was mainly road shots. But thanks, I'm a newbie. You're doing great. That was a good video. I was thoroughly enthralled. Chris Yao with the $1 super chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, Chen Zhao says if you can find the right supplier and decent QC, made in China would be working like Apple instead of Walmart, I suppose. Yeah. Matthias Herrera with the super chat as well. Thank you so much. Derek Dixon says, do you have a PayPal if we do not have YouTube linked to give money? Yeah, my PayPal is my email address, ko.mike@gmail. If you want to do that. Thank you so much. That's very thoughtful, everybody. Thank you to Matthias. Thank you to Chris. Thank you, Danny. And thank you to Frank. I appreciate it very much. All right. Martha says, seconding Leona Wong for the idea of high quality tech shirt with Kofuzi's unique, minimal, and tasteful branding. All right. Well, I do have a surprise for you guys. I can't talk about it yet, but you'll find something out very soon. It's not intentional that we're talking about this. I don't know how we got on this subject. Were we talking about subscriptions? Is that what it was? But yeah, so stay tuned. I got something exciting coming very, very soon. But yeah, thank you. Dan Run is here. Says, hey all, awesome. Shannon, wow, awesome, giving me $4.99 on 11/11. Love it. Very cool. And Jeff with $1. Thank you so much, guys. Ben Y with £1. Nice. Every time it's like with £1, I always feel like, a pound. Sorry, that's a weird dad joke. CV76 with $1.99. Thank you so much. And Scotty B says, I'm not sure how this super chat works. Well, I think you got it figured out. I think you got it. Thank you for the $5. Thanks. Awesome, guys. And Jeff says that was my first super chat. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah. And Shannon says, oops, I meant to send 11/11. And it does the monkey emoji. I love that one. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. Awesome, guys. Chris Yao says, Kofuzi mystery tech shirt. They come with a random word of the day printed on them. Mukbang SL20. That would be funny. Like a grab bag. If maybe I need to buy one of those guns, they make the digital printing thing. Have you seen those? It's like a dot matrix scanner or a printer kind of thing. It goes and it prints out words. Maybe I'll do that, like dealer's choice. That I think you're onto something, Chris. Leona coming in with $3. Thank you, Leona. David Sachs with $4.99 and Kerry Smith with $5. Thank you so much, everybody. And he asks, what shoes are you going to wear for the 10K? I love the channel. That's a great question. I've been thinking about it a lot. Tomorrow's workout is going to be testing out another shoe. Right now, I'm leaning to, I like the RC Elite a lot, but I did the 8K time trial in those. So I'm thinking it's going to be the Endorphin Pro or the Alpha Fly at this point. But tomorrow I have one more workout on the Stride training plan. It's like a Strides workout. I might bust out the Meta Racer for that just to kind of see, like, refresh my recollection on how that is. And then I'll figure out from one of those. Martha says, this is trying to look like a Seth live stream without the absolute chaos and overwhelmingness. Thank you. Paul Kane coming in with 5 pounds. Thank you. I'm enjoying the podcast on my morning runs when I miss the live stream. Awesome. That's cool. I look at the numbers on that, and there's not a ton of people that consume this by way of podcast, but I feel like there's a solid audience every day. And so it makes it, I mean, it's not that hard for me to also put it up on a podcast. So I'm happy to keep doing it over there. Chanzel coming with $3 says, a cup of Americano in the house. Wonderful. That's nice. I love it. Ricardo Katagiri coming in with 5. I'm not sure what currency that is, but thank you very much. And Jenna Durakova, I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing that correctly, with €1. Thanks. I think it's the first euro of the day. And Shannon says, not try to change the amount. Use over 1 million more of these, making it rain super chats. Thank you so much, everybody. This is not what I was trying to do for today, but thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Mark Chankoko saying, go with the Endorphin Pro. That's where I'm really heavily leaning. I'm very heavily leaning towards the Endorphin Pro. I enjoyed it a lot on that threshold day workout, and I just feel like that's probably going to be the one, unless like I have a really great workout on the Meta Racer tomorrow. It's probably going to be the Endorphin Pro. But Jeff 8 says the Alpha Fly makes sense given your past Nike love after the break. That's the other thing. It's like I just really did enjoy the Alpha Fly as well. But the thing that I'm worried about with the Alpha Fly is then, like, what if I do really well? Then it's like, oh well, was it the Alpha Fly or did I do better? Not that like I went through like the most rigorous 10K training plan, but I feel like I did put in a couple of weeks of focus on it, which I've never done before for this distance. So I was like, well, maybe I should do something where there isn't going to be as much of a question mark if I do well. So that's kind of like coming into the thinking as well. But hey, Jay says, ooh, the Meta Racer might be ideal for 10K. That's what I'm thinking. That's where I feel like its sweet spot is. Derek Dixon says, Kofuzi, do you think you'll include super chats as part of your YouTuber income when you do your how much I make with subs on YouTube videos? I'm always fascinated by those. You know what? I'll have to look at what kind of data I get Yeah, I could probably look. I think there's a way to tease that out in the analytics. I'm sure if there is, I will do that. So that way it makes it clearer in terms of the ad revenue versus the super chat. Because I do think that would make a meaningful difference, and that'd be interesting data for a lot of people. All right, we've got my cow's coming with $2, getting on the train. Awesome. Look at this. A cow emoji. That's awesome. I like that. Oh, look at that. Catherine Number says €10 super sticker. Well, maybe I need to do this. I'm not. Do you guys want the sticker? Do you guys want me to make the sticker? I can do the stickers and like the membership thing. I mean, if I were to do it right now, I mean, just so people get stickers, I don't think I would make it as cheap as YouTube would let me do it. But if that's all it was, but like, I think people like those. I'm interested in the way Seth's been doing it, but it's interesting. But thank you, Catherine, so much for the €10. Awesome. Xavier Vermeulen says, how would you go about upgrading a running shoe collection? Only have one pair at the moment, Hoka Rincons. What kind of shoes should I buy next? I will say that you would probably enjoy buying like a full-on racer next. It's probably not the shoe you need next, but it's probably the one that you're going to enjoy the most having next. So I would start thinking about racers. So that way you can use those, the Rincons as your daily trainer / workout shoe, and then use the racing shoe for the days that you're going to either have your hardest workouts and your races. The decision that makes a little bit more sense to me would be to like get like kind of like a boring shoe. So you've got the Rincon, which I consider more of like a workout shoe. So I would go for like maybe like a Clifton, which is like a more cushioned daily trainer, or something like the Triumph 18, which is a max cushion shoe, or the 1080 version 10. So that's kind of how I would go about it. So you've got the daily trainer, then figure out like what other category of shoe you have, and then you kind of eventually will start having like your long mileage shoe, your everyday shoe, your faster shoe, and then your race day shoe. So those are like the 4 buckets that I always kind of think about. All right. Running out, he said, get some emojis like Seth. Carrie Smith says corn emoji. But all these emojis exist. Chan says the rice emoji. Like there is a rice emoji, like the bowl of rice. I comment the bowl of rice emoji every time I see hype rice on Instagram. Anytime there's like a promoted thing, yeah. Richard says there's a 5 seconds a kilometer bonus with the alpha. That sounds very nice. That's a lot. So I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. Martha says, we have so many inside jokes. The emojis could be endless. Corn with SL20s on them, hype rice. Yeah, there's a lot. But it's been fun. That's what happens when you have these conversations that like continue over a long period of time, yeah. Oh, Martha says, I draw really well. She says modestly, if you want me to custom design any emojis. That might have to be something we think about too. Yeah. Matthew Bailey says, yo, what is this live? It just got recommended to me. No disrespect or nothing, just curious. Matthew, welcome. This is a group of runners. Oh, and look at that. My camera just went out. So this is a bad first impression for me to be making. So I apologize for that. But we've been going for nearly an hour here. But this is a group of runners who get together daily. Not everyone comes daily, but most people do. And we talk about stuff. Sometimes we talk a lot about running. Sometimes we don't talk about running at all. It just kind of depends. The whole goal for me here is to create that feeling that people have when they're done with a run with a group and everyone's kind of like hanging out, relaxing, cooling down before they head their separate ways. That's kind of like the atmosphere that I'm going for here. So I'm going to wrap it up here because my camera's dead. And worst live streamer ever, having more camera problems this week. But hopefully you'll come back and visit us another time, Matthew. And I think you'll have a good time. Hopefully you'll have a good time. But you're always welcome. All right. That's a good place for me to end it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for all the super chats. You guys are so generous. Completely unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Tab Hunter coming in with one. 5 pounds says worth it for the pizza talk, let alone the running advice. Keep it up, K-Man. Thank you, Tab, as well. I'm going to leave it there. Tomorrow, there's going to be a surprise video for you guys. Not a surprise video, but something that I think you guys might be interested in. It's something that I'm super stoked about. It's something I've known about for a little bit, and then kind of not forgot about it, but the timetable wasn't that clear. And then all of a sudden I was like, ooh, I got to get on that. So that's going to be tomorrow. And so that'll be interesting. I hope you guys really like it. And then we'll do another live stream, and it'll be happy hour. So bring your favorite post-workout drink or alcoholic drink, and we'll relax some more. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Be safe out there, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next one.